Time travel isn't just cool, it's complicated. It's like a big mystery wrapped in a puzzle, hiding inside a cosmic burrito. And today, we're diving into some of the wildest paradoxes in the universe.
Buckle up. Time's about to get twisty.
Let's start with the grandfather paradox. Imagine you build a time machine and went back in time to stop your grandfather from meeting your grandmother. Guess what? That means your parents wouldn't be born, and then you wouldn't be born either. But if you were never born, then how could you have used the time machine in the first place? It's like a loop that breaks itself. In Marvel's Loki series, messing with the past is a big no-no because it creates alternate timelines that could go totally bonkers. Remember Loki pruning himself? Let's say you time travel and give young Einstein a book about his future theories. He studies it, becomes famous, and writes that exact book. But where did the book originally come from? This is the bootstrap paradox. Something exists, but it has no real beginning. In the show Dark, a time-traveling notebook gets passed around so much, no one even knows who wrote it anymore. It's like time is copying its own homework. Next comes predestination paradox. This is when your trip to the past is meant to happen. And no matter what you do, you can't change anything. In fact, your actions might be what causes the very thing you were trying to stop. Like in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Harry thinks someone saved him from the Dementors, but later realizes it was himself from the future. Did you know that it's called predestination paradox when you watched it first time? I didn't. You hear a cool song, travel back in time, and show it to the person who supposedly wrote it. That person records it, and years later you hear it again. But who actually created the song? This is the information paradox, an idea that travels through time, but has no true origin. Don't get confused with bootstrap paradox. Bootstrap paradox passes things without origin. Here is idea without origin. Imagine Tony Stark told young Tony how to build the arc reactor, but he only knew how because his future self already built it. Then whose idea was the arc reactor? Definitely not mine. Imagine you meet a future version of yourself, who then goes back in time and becomes you. So, who's the real you? This is the identity paradox. When time loops mess up who you really are. Sometimes you become your own cause. In the show Dark, some people find out they're their own parent or child. It's a total identity spaghetti mess. You see a vision of your future. You know you're going to spill juice tomorrow. So you try everything to avoid it, but you still do. Did you really have a choice? This is the free will paradox. When seeing the future makes it unavoidable, no matter how hard you try. In Avengers Infinity War, Dr. Strange saw 14 million futures, but only one path worked. The big question is, are we choosing our future, or just following the script? A time traveler brings a mysterious alien object from the future and places it in a museum. Years later, someone studies it, copies it, and sends it back in time. That's how the traveler found it in the first place. So, who made the object? Nobody. It just exists in a loop, passed from future to past, again and again, with no real starting point. That's the ontological paradox. Unlike the bootstrap paradox, where people or events cause themselves, or the information paradox, where ideas loop endlessly, this one's about things, objects that exist forever without ever being created. It's the ultimate brain bender. And if that object was alien tech, we may never know if it came from us or something far stranger. Kind of like the movie Tenet, where weapons, messages, and even entire battles flow backward through time with no clear beginning. Some universes have a strict rule. Don't mess with the past, no matter how tempting it is. No helping, no changing, no interfering. Just watch. Just like Watcher from Marvel TV's What If? But what if not helping causes something worse? Imagine knowing a disaster is about to happen in the past and being forced to do nothing. That's the temporal prime directive paradox, a big ethical and logical headache. If changing the past is dangerous, is not changing it just as bad? In Star Trek, time travelers are bound by the temporal prime directive, even if it means letting bad things happen. And in Marvel's Loki, the TVA prunes whole timelines just to protect the sacred one. So the question is, should you break the rules to save a life? if it means breaking reality. You roll a billiard ball into a wormhole. It goes back in time a few seconds and comes out the other end. But here's the twist. It hits itself before it even enters the wormhole, knocking it off course. But wait, if the ball never enters the wormhole, how could it come out and stop itself? It's like a self-canceling loop. That's the Polchinski paradox, a physical version of the grandfather paradox, but with objects instead of people. Time just broke its own rules. You time travel and visit a day where you already existed. Now, there are two versions of you in the same place. What happens if too many time travelers crowd the timeline? This is the double occupancy paradox. If time travel becomes normal, do we need a booking system for timelines? Do we crash reality by showing up twice? In shows like Loki or The Flash, multiple versions of characters mess things up because time hates double trouble. You change the past, and boom, the world updates, but you still remember the old timeline. Are your memories real if no one else remembers them? This is the memory paradox, when your brain remembers something that technically never happened anymore. In X-Men, Days of Future Past, Wolverine remembers a past nobody else lived through. It's like holding on to dreams from a timeline that no longer exists. Okay, this one's not a paradox, but it's juicy. In Avengers Endgame, the Avengers travel back in time to grab the Infinity Stones. They changed the past. So, why didn't the TVA show up and prune them like they did to Loki? Here's the twist. They didn't break the timeline because they follow the Mobius path. What's that? It's a shape with only one side, like a magical strip that loops around in a twist. If you cut a regular loop, it splits, but cut a Mobius strip, it just becomes a bigger Mobius strip. So their time travel didn't create new branches. It stretched the loop they were already in, making it part of the sacred timeline. That's why Miss Minutes was chill and the TVA stayed silent. It's genius. Really, Marvel didn't just invent a time trick. They used actual geometry to explain it. If your brain isn't melting from paradoxes yet, hit that like button before it loops out of existence. And subscribe for more brain-bending adventures before your future self does it first. Time travel is weird, but watching more videos? That's always a good idea. See you in the next timeline.